to Evergreen Author Resources, our podcast, Coffee, Tea, and Novel Ideas. I'm Tonya. This is Jamie in DC, and we're here. We did it. We got here. Ooh, and up in the top corner, you can kind of see there's like that little. I put our little logo up there in the
Where?
top of the thing. You might not be able to
It's
see it. It's
it's
like
probably
right
only on
above the
hers, and
books
we're looking
in
for it.
I'm
find the
staring.
logo.
I was like,
Uh,
where am I looking at? Where's this at? It's
for
there.
me, it shows up like right at the very top left hand corner over your bookshelf.
You're
Uh,
probably getting to see it because you're hosting.
yeah,
We'll get to see
and
it when the recording's all done, and we get to see the fancies.
yeah,
I feel like we're missing out, Jamie. I officially was
I
like,
know.
yeah. I felt like pretty proud of myself that I even found that to even put
Yeah.
up there.
I am impressed. I feel like I should go look for one for that. Not today. Not today, grasshoppers. Not today. This is
Not
the sign for
today.
the day. Not today, grasshoppers. Not today.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
So yeah, this is this is a morning of mornings. And we're all here for our podcast consistently.
So I think we're here because we said we were going to do it. If not, we would have been like, wait, we're committing. I think we should
We
go
held
ahead and
all of ourselves, like each other, accountable, or this wouldn't have happened.
we did start this conversation on Friday. It's like, this is happening on Sunday. Like, okay. And then yesterday I was like, are we meeting? We know we're just going to wing it. We're just going to wing it. Not that anybody can tell that we don't just wing it the other ones because we prep. I want to say we have prep for the other ones. And then the
Yeah.
video was like, yeah, we prep.
But we ramble and go down 500 different paths. So it's like, I was like, what's like the difference is we don't have a set plan of a particular topic. But I think this is kind of a good topic in that, what Jamie just said, like we held each other accountable. We showed up for this commitment. And that I think having friends, having an author community, having people that are, going to help you do that, like keep yourself accountable, hold you accountable and remind you to show up is like because I realized this morning because I'm supposed to be like taking my blood pressure,
Nice.
every morning and night because that's the stage of life I'm in. Um, and I realized this morning that I skip like all this time because I'm pretty much the get the day going person here, and you're supposed to like sit down for at least 5 minutes before and be still before you do your blood pressure. And I'm like
Mhm.
realizing that that's not as easy as it sounds, at least like not for me. And so today I was able to just do that because I set this up, sent the invites, and I was like, okay, don't get up, don't mess with anything else. Let's do the blood pressure. And that is bananas to me, realizing that like I don't give from the time I get out of bed, like I don't even give myself like 5 minutes to just
So you're talking about it. I used to meditate consistently for like 30 minutes. This is before menopause. I'm going to put it out there. Before menopause, when my life was scheduled to the T. If I can get 10 minutes before getting out of bed to like, and I think I should fall asleep for 10 minutes. I don't think I'm actually meditating. I think I should wake up, set an alarm, and just knocked out and then get back up. But the consistency of having to do that, I just got away from it. And it is so easy just to realize like, I have people like, I haven't seen you in 6 months. Like, whatever, that's not true. I've seen you. And then you look at the calendar, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's been like 9 months. And then all I can think is like, are you alive? Like, I missed you. Like, did you miss me? Like, where have I been? Menopause does not prepare you to realize that time moves at a different space.
yeah.
Like, it feels like we're rushing, and then you go back, and I was like, that was just the other day. What do you mean that's not? It's been 6 months? Oh. And then you go, what have I done for 6 months? I don't know.
Right. Mhm.
So I realized if I don't have you guys, I don't have Christine, nothing in my world when it comes to my book world will get done. It just wouldn't. Because the only reason it's getting done is because they're like, you're like, have you done the thing? I'm like, I don't even know what the thing is. Like, there's a thing to get done. What is the thing? No, I have not done the thing. Like,
You
what
know,
does the thing
that's
do?
actually something I've been thinking a lot about lately because I feel like a lot of times what I see people like really craving and trying to do the most in when they are an author is find community. And then, but we're so like, this is something just that I have struggled with in the last 7, 8 years, where my community was my church, but I no longer go to church. And my family is so massive and so spread out everywhere. And I have very, very different interests than them. Like, I don't
Mhm.
really, my car runs. I don't care about cars. The last time I ran into an extended family member, they literally were like, "Are you still doing that book thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, and I'm paying all my bills with it. What about it?" Like, I may not live on a fancy, like in a fancy house on the lake like you, but like, I'm happy with what I'm doing. Like, don't look down on me. So, like, I
Mhm.
don't necessarily have the family community. And I know that most of the authors I connect with, they are in a very similar situation where they may have that community, but it's not in the way they want, or it's shifting. But then the most frequent, I would honestly say, outside of like writing and like actual writing the book questions or how do I sell my book questions, the next one that I hear the most is how do I find an author community? Because it can feel so hard. For a long time, I know people were starting to get to build those from doing anthologies. And
Mhm.
but people were doing as like list aiming anthologies, and those don't really exist anymore. And like we still do our anthologies, and that lets this like little group of people be able to get to know each other. And if they want to become their community with each other, then they can. But there's a lot of readers that are going to these author conferences, reader conferences completely alone, just
Mhm.
hoping to connect. It almost one thing that we are doing at our event that we have coming up, because we have our writing retreat mastermind coming up in like a week, 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Mhm.
Yeah, because our setup is in like a week and a half. And one thing that we're doing that I would love to see in reader conferences, I'm not going to lie. I would love to see something that people can wear that says like I'm open for meeting new people, or I would rather be left alone. Like, I feel like that is so badly needed at any of these kinds of things. And I think it would be awesome. And maybe I should, sorry, as I'm like talking to myself, I'm like, maybe I should
She's
consider
planning.
like, I'm like, maybe I should like bring something like this that people can do when I'm going to things, and like you can pick it up at the
Mhm.
table and put it on if you want, because I feel like both the reader and the author community is just so desperately wanting that sense of community. That's why book talk blew up so big. That's why social media became so important. And then people are kind of going, how do I do this now that social media, some chunks of it is starting to become so toxic? Like,
Mhm.
and
I
again,
think.
I know that's hard to find for
Mhm.
authors to keep going. Is like, where, like, for you guys, where would you guys suggest for maybe an author who can't go to in-person events? Like, what would you suggest they do to try and connect with other authors?
So I'm going to say, and I think I came into this world before the massive TikToks and book talks and
Mhm.
all those things. So one of the things that I was really blessed was going to an online event, and I got, like, to this day, Jeremy Lasso is my hero. He gets prompts for all of this. I went to a local event that it was just the two of us. I think it was a weekend event. It was super cheap. It was here in Texarkana. But we didn't see that many people. And it was the first thing I think I had. I think, a book or two. And he just like took me under his wing and just like pampered me with information, probably overwhelmed me with information because I don't know what I was doing. But it took one person. And I think when we think of community, sometimes I think authors feel like I need to have an entire circle. You
Mhm.
don't need a circle. You need one person you can connect with that can actually truly support you. But you need to, let me be honest, you need the right person. So as a coach, as a mentor, the things that I tell everybody is like, be careful who you tell your dreams to, because there
Mhm.
are some dreams assassins out there and they don't do it on purpose. Like, my family adores me. I know this for a fact. But they're not the ones I'm going to tell them the story plot, because that plot is going to get destroyed because it'll be like the dumbest thing they ever heard, and they'll be like, I don't get it. And I'm like, you're not my person. Why am I talking to you? Like, why am I having this discussion to you about my dreams and hopes because you don't get it? So when it comes to finding a person, find somebody that you connect. And then this sounds really kind of cheesy, but you have to connect at a soul level. Like, you have to see this person as a human and then an author. You have to be able to have a conversation outside of books, because if not, then you're like, I don't want to talk to this person. Like, talk to this person about the books you're reading, not the things you're writing. And then that transition to something more than that. But it has to be one-on-one. And it's not going to be, your community might not be 100 people or even 5. It might just be 2. You might find your ride or die, but you need one person to kind of guide you, and then you should make friends. So the one thing I'm going to say is that I didn't realize, I read a study, because I'm a nerd, why it's so hard for adults. I know. Why it's so hard for adults to make friends. Like, when we're young, we're thrown into connection. It takes, I think, 200 hours to make a true friend. They did the study. It's easy when you're in middle school and high school because you're stuck with these people. You don't have a choice. As adults, where do you get 200 hours with another adult? Oh, at work. What happens if you hate work and you hate your coworkers? You have no friends. So it is.
Or they don't have anything in common with you outside of work.
And that's it. It's just you in this circle of like angry people that you're like, this is not working out.
Or you don't even go to work. Like, that's been one of my hardest things. I don't go to an in-person job.
So where do you make friends? And I think a lot of the things that prior to really social media exploding, people thought parasocial relationships were not real. Believe it or not, now they have done the studies that they are, and they fill in those spaces. Just make sure you realize what that means to you and how open and connected you are with people, because it does take time. It takes 200 hours to make a friend. You're not going to bond like that. So at the same time, don't be the creepy people that talk these like influencers and be like, they love me. They don't know you. So please have real, I got
boundaries.
To step into it.
Yeah.
I step
into
even
with your.
I want to add on to that too, to like make sure that you're not, especially author friendships. I see a lot of them that start out bonding over how little money they're making. About how hard this is, that kind of thing. But then that it's an issue that I have been running into, as you guys know, where you kind of start out with that because you want someone else who understands how hard it is. But then if you start making money and they're not, it turns into a jealousy thing, and it puts a big strain on the relationship. And then you're like, well, who do I talk to that can help like celebrate with me, because my family doesn't understand everything that I've done with it. And like, who do I talk to on like getting to that next level? Like, I've gotten to this level. And if you're connecting with people and your connection, a lot of it is based on, I'm making such a small amount of money, this is so hard, it's just struggling. I definitely, as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more of a believer in like manifestation in the way of like, if you are just focusing on being poor all the time. And I say this as someone who just like, he has a very low expectation of living. I live in a very small house with squirrels that chew through my walls. Like, but I've also come to realize that part of it is like a culture and a mindset. And like, if I don't really take the time and kind of let myself believe I can be better, I can make more money, I can get my author career to the next things, I don't even look for the things, like my algorithm for everything for life does not get trained to even notice the opportunities or notice the things that are there for me to learn. So like, that is definitely something I want to say is like, one, make sure that you yourself are putting out the right things for being the right kind of person for being a friend. And I'm not saying that you should never talk about how hard it is, or, you know, like, you definitely need that person you connect with, but you need to make sure that your friendship is built on more than just that, so that, you know, potentially you can grow beyond that.
Have you ladies found out that it's hard for people to celebrate success of others? And this is something that to me blows my mind, because I'm such a ham. Like, I want to celebrate everybody. I'm the person that at the day job, like, I want the birthdays. Like, we all need to talk about birthdays.
I don't even celebrate my own wins. Like, I'm not even like you. Like I am much better at celebrating someone else's, and then
Yep.
I'm probably like I'm gonna be okay. Like my levels of happiness are probably not the same as like other people. So like I'm happy right now. Can't you tell?
You sound like my brother. My brother's like, my parents are that generation that shows no feelings. So like my cousin got pregnant and she's like, my dad gave her like a pad and she's like, that was like an earthquake in his world, like with as much feelings as they show. But it is true. We all
Yeah,
have different levels.
and so I'm always like, I'm excited for anyone achieving anything. Like if that's like your kid taking a first step, if that's you hitting your first, six-figure book, if that's you getting a New York contract, if that's you doing whatever. I only get jealous of people when they like make food that I can't make.
Yes. Or they're
I
eating
have
the
a real
food that I
problem
can't
with
eat, and
that.
I'm like,
Or
oh,
eating food that I
is it
can't
good?
eat. Like, if you want to get to me, like, you have whatever car you have whatever money you have, whatever, like, the way to my soul is through my stomach. All right. And so if there's ever something that I am envious about, like, that's one of the things, like, every day I talk to Stella, and every day she talks to me about what she's making. And every day I want to like punch her husband in the face because he gets to eat
Okay.
that.
That will get to me too. I'm going to tell you this. So Christine Gorey, who's amazing,
Yes,
is
she's
CD.
another one. CD just give it
So
like, oh, just tell me what you're making. Like when at Thanksgiving
I
or when like her that bridal shower or whatever, I was just like, I hate your whole family.
I just want to be adopted into her family because she's not just Italian. She's old school Italian. She's like, I'm making pasta from scratch. I'm like, on purpose?
Mhm.
Like, and then she sends you pictures and you're like,
Yeah.
huh. We are friends, right? Do you need a kid? Because I can come food test. Like,
Ooh,
why
I
are we not
know.
in the same state? Jamie has done that too. She's like, look what I made. And I'm like, and F you. I got shit to do. I
Mhm.
don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But can I get that
Even though
recipe?
my
Can
kid
I?
the other day was like, Mom, why don't you ever cook? And I was like, I cook all the time. What are you talking
Why
about?
don't you
And
ever
then I
cook?
realized it was because my oven for years has been terrible because my last one died during COVID. And the only thing I could find was like this 70s beater for $300 during COVID. And like it burns everything. Only one burner's been working. Like, so I have been going to my parents' place next door because I have a disabled mom, a disabled uncle. My dad's got health issues. So I've been going over there to cook, and she's just been hanging out with grandma while I'm cooking instead. And I'm like, so I finally bought a new oven this last month. Like, I mean,
So
it's not
this
new, but it's
It's
so
new to
much
you.
better.
Mhm, mhm.
And I'm like, we are now cooking more at home, so you can learn how to cook too, and you can remember that mommy actually cooks.
did she think the food was just appearing? Like you weren't
Yeah.
really cooking it, like it just showed up at the table and she was like, oh, there's
Pretty
food here.
much.
Yeah, well, kids, if they don't see it, they don't. It's like, what is that?
Actually,
Like that's
I feel the same way about some people, including men. If they don't see it, it's like, I've done all of this. We're not going to talk about
right.
this
All this
today.
stuff.
Got it. Got it. So,
There are no
yes.
real laundry fairies like that.
Or people who are folding
Unfortunately.
things
I mean,
away. Yeah.
honestly, I think I would rather, I'm just saying, like, if I was given the option of, like, Fae dude to the Fae realm, or a fairy who will come and cook and clean for me, fairy any
Oh my
day, screw
gosh.
the Fae. He can have his own time. I
Right.
don't care.
So, my cousin, who
Yeah.
we have discussed the dating world, which I adore her. And she's like, I am now looking for very specific traits in a man. And I'm like, do tell. I was like, tall, hot, and handsome. She's like, hell no. How handy are you? Can you repair some gutters? Can you do electrician? How about some plumbing? I was like, so basically, we're
So
dating a
I'm hearing I
handyman.
would be the perfect date because I am the person that does all of that.
Yeah.
Listen, I went to a roast and toast, and one lady was like, "Do you want my husband?" I was like, "How handy is he at work, at home?" And she's like, "Not really." I was like, "Then you can keep him. Like we're
You can
now
keep
doing,
that.
yeah.
Mhm.
This is no longer a looks department. I think once you pass 45, you're no longer looking for like, oh, I need the next heart. No, I don't need a heartthrob. I
No.
need you to be. Can you repair some things around the house? That's what I need to know. Like, can you unclog some sinks and like do some electrician? Like, I'm looking for a handyman that actually can get on the roof and like patch some things. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Pretty sad
It's
because I'm like, no. applications are now changing as you get older. It's like, yeah.
The skills, the things, let me tell you what's attractive.
This is new skill
Can you
sets for men.
operate a stove? Like if you could, like, oh my goodness, yeah,
Can you
that's
identify where the cleaning supplies is in your house?
How
yeah.
about cutting some lawn? Can you
Well,
can you mow?
and
Can you mow?
I've seen like, because there's a lot of, I don't know, there's like a lot of wild pushback in the romance genre about, from people who don't read romance, and about how it's not healthy and it's not whatever and it's this or whatever. And it's like, do you realize that like people go to read romance to escape into places where their partner, male, female, minotaur, whatever, is like they're is like that is they are like the center of that. They typically are being like cared for, their needs are being met. Like, even if you've got like a rough start, even in like dark romance, right? Like that was one of the things that really kind of messed me up, because when you have like these like villainous characters, and they're like taking you someplace, and it's like, you no longer have to work. I'm gonna make sure you eat well. Here's here's a gym for your time. I'm like, yeah, these are definitely written by women. Like
Yes, yes.
Oh my god. It makes me think. I was literally just thinking about this because I have not read yet. I finally picked it up because there's Fred and Dreams is this amazing bookstore that has new and used books near me, and they've got a couple locations. And I had brought in a bunch of books and gotten a bunch of credits, and so I bought like 30 books
I
and
heard
I
about
paid like
this.
$50 for like 30 books. And I was looking at, oh, is it called Butcher and Blackbeard? Is that the one
Yeah.
that's the serial killer
Butcher and
one that's like
Yes,
Blackbird
important?
by Bryn
yes.
Okay,
Weaver. Yeah.
so I'm not ready yet, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a quick peek. I'm gonna see. I was like, I this kind of helped launch like this sub area of dark romance, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, this totally also still checks the like this dude knows how to get stuff done mark,
Mhm.
because no one is gonna go to
He owns
that
a
much effort
restaurant.
to do this without.
So, so
Yeah. And
Karen,
he
I
owns a
have watched this
restaurant.
list.
Like I
What?
Oh,
he I will say like that series, the first one and the third one are my favorites in that series. But the third one is my favorite because she's the only female character that I'm also like not like with
what?
in that series. But
So, if you're a serial killer, I'm just gonna put it out there. If you're doing dark romance and your character happens to be a female, can she throw a punch?
right.
I just want her to be able to be like,
Hmm.
pow. I
Yeah.
don't need her
They're
to get destroyed and caked and beat up, and he
every
still has to
time.
save her.
Hmm.
I was like, do you train with anything besides the scope? Like, I need you to be able to handle your business. But he does cook. So and it's
Oh, he
funny
does.
and it has the banter that you love. Some banter's in there.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. I've been like reading a lot of palate cleansers. I know we
Oh,
didn't
Hmm.
do a
that's a
lot
good
of
one.
like our usual intro for like books and drinks,
Oh, yeah.
but
We do that at the
I've been
beginning,
doing a
don't we?
ton of like palate cleansers and
Hmm.
like all of that kind of thing right now, just because I'm forcing myself to take a few weeks off from writing,
Hmm.
which I'm sure Tanya's been like, where are the
Where are your
edits and like
chapters?
the
Yeah, I
chapters
was
and stuff?
wondering. I
That's
thought
because
maybe
I
because everything was
forced
coming up, you were kind of prepping
For
for
everything.
that.
this answer is prepping. What are you talking about?
It is
I love
Jamie.
you.
That's a good one.
So
What? What?
I will say that I loved
I know the
listening
word.
to. I do have the books, but I loved listening to Butcher and Blackbird on audio. And right now, like it's I'm on book 3 again in the Only James. So if you're okay with like male romance, they are also serial unalivers. Um and sociopaths, kind of psychopaths. Like they're on the border of things, but they all find someone. Um,
You need to
and
send me
it's
that one.
yeah, it's oh, I
Yeah.
I love them. Adam is my favorite. He's the first one. He's a complete mess, but they they're hilarious. So if you are looking for something to listen to, Only James, like they're great.
So I'm listening to, because I'm doing audiobook because I'm definitely don't have life. So I'm doing Naomi. Novik. It is
Allie
her.
Novick, yes.
So I love her and hate her at the same time. Like, she's one of
Uh-huh.
my writers that I go to all the time, and then get really angry at her. I want to choke the hell out of her, and then I still commit. So this is the trilogy. I think the very first one is, what is it called? The reason I picked it up, I have not. It's YA. So let's go into the whole YA category. So if you're not into YA, this book might not be for you. But this series itself is A Deadly Education, which I really love the title for that. Her main character is probably, I love the fact that her main character is your typical teenager. You know, she's a super witch, has all of these powers at this really weird university that is a high school. They get dropped because there's all these things trying to kill them once they develop magic. So in order to survive, she throws them in a high school that's still trying to kill them. It's super bizarre. But her main character has been such, like, she's been destined to destroy the world. So she's your typical kid. Every time she gets a friend, she pushes them away. And her friends are finally going to say, girl, stop, stop. You're like this little porcupine. Every time something comes, like, you explode. So I am in book 3, The Golden Enclave. And she still drives me insane because little girl still fights everything in her life. Everything is difficult. You're like, just agree to something. And I love the fact that all of her friends, I'm like, why do you make life difficult? Like, she has more check-ins of people going, stop sucking. Like, it's just stop pushing people away. But this is probably the one book because it's still YA. And there's so much emotion and she has so much teens angst that I have to hear in like double speed. Like, I love the plot, I love the story, but the teen angst is like driving me insane. And I was like, we're gonna listen to this as quickly as possible so I don't have to kill you, because girl, get over yourself. So for
It is a
anybody
really good series, though. Like, it is. But I'm with you. Like, I loved the series, but she drove me a little crazy. And like, I love the concept of like an academy that they can't leave. The only way, like, graduation is to be thrown into a dungeon full of monsters that are trying to kill you, and you have like only like 50% of the almost graduates actually graduate and get out, and like that there's no professors. Like, the school magically gives you what you want, but it might not be in the way you want it for you to learn it. So it's your job to learn what you need to learn to graduate. Like, I kind of love that, like, accountability level in it, but she is not a palate cleanse. Like, if you're in burnout, she is not the author to read, because every single chapter is loaded with new information that your brain is going to be so overwhelmed with. Like, she's great when you need amazing world building, not to read when you're in burnout.
Also, the fact that it does, like, there's some rules that we try to stick with, like, 3/4 of the book don't introduce new characters, like, don't be trying to throw magical things at this point in time. She doesn't care. Like, at the end of the chapters, like, and we have this, and I'm like, what was that? Like, where did this come from? Like, who are these people, and am I supposed to remember them all? And it's harder if you're listening to them at really fast speed because you really can't pick up names or connect. And at this point in time, it's like, I think she's going to die. It doesn't matter. We have killed half of these people. Anyways, I don't need to connect with you. You're not going to last to the next book. We're going to move very quickly through this. But Naomi is an amazing world builder, but she is also very high fantasy. So my high fantasy lovers are going to love the book. But if you're not into YA and teens angst, this is not it, because she's going to.
And if you don't like villain main characters, because she is 100% villain coded.
Oh God,
like, she is a female villain. This is a villain female main character through and through.
But she fights her darkness. I love the fact that she has been prophesied to be the darkest witch of all, and she's trying not to be. And then her anger gets the best of them, and she's like, she's getting me credit for not killing you. It's like, so we're celebrating. This is a really celebration campaign. We should talk.
I mean,
this. Right.
As a menopausal woman, I think that
she's menopausal 17. 17. She started early.
Like, I should be getting credit on a regular basis.
That's what I said to somebody. I was like, nobody has been yelled at today. You should all be. My cousin sent me a Instagram of
like an appropriate human.
The 2 angriest signs in the horoscope are like, is Aries and Capricorn, which is ours, obviously. And she goes, you go from 0 to nuclear in like 2 seconds. I was like, that's an understatement. I'm pretty sure I can do it in 1. And she's
Right.
like, we need some therapy. It's like, we need some bail money. That's what we need. Therapy's not going to help. We need bail money. That's where we're at now in life. Okay,
See,
Jamie,
I'm
what are you
like the
reading?
opposite. I like, and it's, they say that with Virgo, it's like, you can, I can deal with things and deal with things and deal with things, but like
Until you don't, and then you snap.
when I don't, like it's nuclear. Like I do
Yes.
not do well at that level. I've spent many, many years um unconditioning those responses in me.
You also
So
hold a grudge. Like most Virgo can hold a grudge for like the end of time. My brother's a Virgo.
I will say, like, I'm not a grudge holder. Like, I
Oh,
don't
thank God.
care. Like, I have no, I feel like when people come into my life, they're there for a reason. I'm going to either find someone that's going to be with me, for an extended period of time, or I'm going to learn a lesson from this person, whether it's a positive lesson or a negative lesson. Like, I'm going to learn something from this experience, whether that's from them as a leader, whether that's from them as a friend, whether that's, you know, my students, like whatever. I really feel like I learned something from whatever goes on, and maybe that's the reason they were there. In that whole like Buddhist journey, like I'm supposed to be figuring out like what I need to do in this life.
I get.
So it's kind of like I just take those as, you know, as many lessons, and maybe I needed to learn that. Sometimes I have to learn it more than once. Um, I don't like when I have to learn things more than once. And then certainly, my problem is this. I grew up in the time of switches, where it was like, go get a switch. Like you had to go get your own
Yes.
torture device and bring it back so that you could get, you know,
Torture.
get yourself with the
Yep.
switch. So
Yep.
my grandmother would, say like, was it worth it? And what that did to me as a child that has transformed along and just clicked up around is now like, if I do something and it's like, I'm going to get in trouble for that. It's like, well, if I'm going to get in trouble for that, then something that
Don't
could,
know better.
that may have been like at a
Make it
five,
worth it.
like just a minor infraction is now like, you know, a felony. So it's
It's
like,
gonna be worth it. We're gonna make it worth it. That's what it's gonna be. Like, oh yeah, this is good.
so
It's
that's
gonna happen.
why I try to just behave, like just try not
There's
to get
no,
into that.
there's no low. So we also have to realize that we're talking horoscope. Somebody had a birthday this week. So
Mm-hmm,
happy
mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Happy
birthday!
birthday, Jamie.
Yeah. I know I was gonna say, like, as a Cancer, I'm so like I'm the opposite, but in an almost like ninja kind of way, because Cancers are known for being really emotional. I am absolutely really emotional. We're tend to be known as being like more friendly and that kind of thing. But it also means, and like I'm worse because I was raised by politicians and lawyers, that when we snap, by the time we have snapped, you have no idea it was coming. We came with all of the evidence, so you have no chance of winning when we attack you finally. Like, we came with everything, you may as well just roll over. Like, honestly, if you hit that point with me, good luck. Because we're done. Yeah.
You have been holding on to things and receipts and
There's
like
your grudge holder.
I
Well, and the crazy
noticed.
thing is I am not normally a grudge holder, like, at all. I have always been the kind of person that it's rare. I even remember a fight we had after I slept. Like, it's gone. So if I hit the point that my brain has started, like, keeping record,
Mm-hmm.
that's because someone has messed with me over and
Yeah.
over and over again. And so, yeah, like that's when I'm like, well, good luck. And I feel like that is almost all cancers. Like most cancers, they're very big, they're very emotional. Some never train to the point where, like, you know, some never develop the ability to really truly fight back. And so, like, they're seen as being weaker. I don't feel like I have ever necessarily been weaker. I really don't. But at the same time, I also know that because of my like tendencies, I also tend to get used more because I give people more chances. Or as DC likes to remind me, sometimes I like to collect really high maintenance people because I'm willing to help them. And then after a certain point, I'm like, well, if you use me too much, you now have a bubble around you and you have to ask permission. Like I can't, you know, I will help someone to a certain point.
Some of your people become projects, and then they start expecting.
And I fully make it my own fault. But then some of those people, though, like I think I keep doing it because some of those people turn out to just be freaking amazing connections that just like didn't have any way to connect with people. Like one of them would be River. River was part of she actually did our very first anthology. And like, it has been incredible to see what she's done. And like several of the people that I did for Operation Author, which I'm not going to lie, I'm starting to get the itch to maybe do something like that again. We'll see how much I regret that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm keeping it one. I wouldn't let other people edit. But like, the reason it got overwhelming was because so many people wanted to help, which was great. But then when people backed out, like I normally organize a fall and a Christmas book swap thing, and I love doing that. But this last year, the fall one, I had to replace 5 people's things. That cost me so much money just for shipping. Even though like I had a bunch of the books, like when you have to replace 5 people's things, that's a ton of money in shipping, and books and things. And like, it gets to be a lot. So I'm like over here going, what do I want to do? How do I want to handle that this next time? But okay, so books, because I hit a point where I was like, I need to take some time off. I need to rest. I could feel the burnout was like really starting to pile on. So I feel like I'm doing the summer version of the Pumpkin Spice Girl. Like I feel like that's me right now. Okay. So yesterday I read Hook, Line, and Sinker. One, I never read physical books, but I needed disconnected from my phone. And because I usually read ebook on my phone. And I don't normally read contemporary. This, I binged yesterday. Day before that, I binged this. Both were fantastic.
We're going very contemporary romance. What is happening here? Like,
yes,
I need
it's just palate cleanser.
It's good to do that, to read out of your genre, out of your favorite things, because you pick up stuff from those. Like I love historicals. Yes. But I don't write historicals. And the reason I love them is because I get a different glimpse at how an author puts together a world, the relationship dynamics, like how they navigate certain things. So Jamie, read all the contemporary.
I actually just bought, my husband took me on a date yesterday and he was like, you know, it was so funny. So my bank card got hacked. So I have no access to our bank money right now. And so he decided to take me out. We went and saw the new Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu, which was in a weird nostalgic thing for me. It was okay. Like, I really enjoyed the plot. I don't think I've ever imagined a Hutt with abs before. Like, that was weird to me, but I loved the character.
Thank you. I have questions.
But then the little creatures, they're adorable, but they were giving like 80s puppetry vibes. It was very nostalgic, but it was like, imagine if, sorry, it's not odd, but I literally was watching this movie and the little mechanic guys, they have a lot more screen time than they've ever had in any of the other Mandalorian things, like so much more, to the point that like it's very clear that they're giving that puppetry vibes. But personality wise, imagine if like the coffee drinking little alien dudes and Men in Black were puppets. Yes. That was what it was giving. And I loved it. It was hilarious. Yes. But yeah, so we went and saw that. And my husband was like, I wanted to go to Barnes and Noble because I kept putting this book down thinking I had it at home, and I didn't.
What is it?
It's called A Pack for Spring. I am shocked. So the marketing of this series is crazy to me, okay? I bought the summer one and the spring one because they're standalones, and there's a fall and a winter one too. And it was interesting. It's actually 2 authors. They're literally like alternating authors. So it's just 2 authors, and one did 2 seasons and another did 2 seasons. These are trad though, and they're marketing them as contemporary romance. These are not contemporary romance. These are paranormal romance. Why choose?
Okay, I'm sorry, what?
But trad doesn't want to label it as that. So trad, even like on the back of the cover, is marketing it as contemporary romance. And I'm like, but it's a pack with alpha and omega. Like, what are you talking about? This is paranormal. Why choose romance? But
so that's a new thing too. Like we've like thrown all genre labels, or like it's almost like all bets are off in genre labels right now. They will now say like contemporary romance is anything happening in this.
Yeah, if it's contemporary at all. And I'm like, but
in this timeline.
Contemporary
And
is
it's like
without magic.
That's not that way that yeah, it's yeah. That's a new thing. That's a new thing that's happening right now, is like.
So that is very confusing for readers, because your expectations, this is the reason why books get negative reviews, is because you're going expecting something. Like I picked up a couple years ago an urban fantasy book. I loved the author, was amazing, but it didn't have any magic. I was mad the entire book. I was like, this is more like magical realism. What do you mean? You don't even have a witch. Like, there's nothing in here.
And magical realism bothers me because I feel like it's false advertising. I'm sorry. You should not have the word magical in the title if there's no actual magic involved. It's bad.
As close as you're going to get to magical, but there's nothing there. So, like, there has to be. So, like, that to me would drive me insane, because I would not pick up that book thinking of contemporary and then have like a reverse. Like, wait, what just happened? Like, I would be mad, especially if I was a reader that was not my genre. And then you're just sitting there going like, I'm confused. Like, what is this? What is happening?
But their tagline are hilarious. Like, seriously, the spring one is like, why, with 3 men to satisfy her, it's going to be one sexy spring, a cozy verse novel. And I'm like, you're literally throwing every single like trope keyword you possibly can on these and hoping something sticks for someone to buy it.
Instead of just telling
and they got you.
Well, honestly, the only reason I kept coming back to this is because I think this is probably the first cozy-ish paranormal why choose romance I've seen trad pick up.
And they're confused about it, as you can tell.
Yeah,
and they don't know what to do with it.
I'm like, it's a huge genre. I love the genre, but I'm very intrigued. Like, I actually picked these up, and I'm gonna pick up the fall and winter ones later. Because as like a study kind of thing for me. Because I'm very intrigued on what trad wanted from this. And when I'm finding it in every single bookstore, clearly they put enough money into it that...
The sad thing is, if they would have stuck with just what the genre was, it would not have created this complete confusion in the rest of us. I'm like, just tell us what it is. Stop sugarcoating it. We're adults.
I'm about to deep dive the lore on this because I want to know if this started trad or if it got picked up as trad. But I did like...
The covers
when she keeps saying trad, she means, for those who are new to this, like traditional publishing, like, you know, the big 5.
Like the big 5 publishers.
Distributors of most fiction.
Okay, I love that because these are all standalone, set in their own, like, set in the same city.
Okay.
I love that the covers, you get different towns and whatnot, but you could tell that, like, they're clearly the same city because you have the same sidewalks, all, like, the way that everything ends up lining up. And, like, I like that they did, as a cover designer, for me, I'm seeing that, and I'm like, I love that tiny bit of cohesiveness that makes it feel like a series, especially because since these are different authors, in a bookstore, these are not going to be anywhere near each other.
Makes sense. I love it. So I need to know what you think. You need to send me some notes.
They're almost my next ones. I just started this. which
The white
I have
community.
been really enjoying because I've been trying to find more diverse. I love that she's African American. He is a like he's very, very white, but he's very white in a like I'm so attractive, everybody loves me kind of way. And she absolutely puts him like in his place. But I love that they get trapped in an elevator with the power out. And she happens to have champagne and cheese and crackers in her purse. And he's doing whatever he possibly can to like get her to give him some of that. And she's just giving him so much crap. The banter just in the opening is gold. And he ends up asking her to be his fake date, like his fake girlfriend, to the wedding that he has to go to of his ex-girlfriend and his best friend. And so she has to pretend to be his actual girlfriend. So like I'm really enjoying it so far, but it's very much like these kind of vibe. Just a little more messy.
That reminds me of like, just because we were talking about like genre switching and labels and how things go, when I first started writing in the romance genre, MC stood for multicultural, and now it stands for motorcycle club. And Yvette, again, like Yvette Hines is, I mean, I've known her for a million years. And she got invited to to participate in an anthology. And when she told me about it, I was like, you might want to double check with them. And she was like, why? And I was like, because you write multicultural romance, they write motorcycle club romance.
Yes.
And she was like, when the did this happen? And I was like, so when they see that you write MC, they think that it doesn't matter, like, what the heritage of your people are. They need the bikes. So if you're not ready to ride a bike, then you might want to let them know. And so she reached out. She's like, you're right. When did MC become motorcycle club? I was like, Sons of Anarchy.
Yep.
Is when MC became motorcycle club.
I feel like we need to have an encyclopedia that updates on a yearly basis every time things change on us. I'm like, wait, what is that today? Because I didn't keep up. Like, we're not doing that anymore. I'm like, what are we doing?
Because in fairness, contemporary means happening now. So like anything that you set now, like it could be, paranormal, it could be,
technically,
regular life of whatever. It's the
technically the
timeline.
series that DC's reading that is very clearly high fantasy could be labeled as contemporary according to their rules for this because it's set modern times.
Yeah, and
it's a contemporary, and there's romance. It's a contemporary romance that you're reading, DC. Congratulations.
I would like my contemporary not to have magic like that. That's usually my distinction.
And that's it. It's like sometimes people are going like literally with what the word is now, and then other times they're using it so liberally that it's like you
Too
lose what is established. So then what is,
and this is Penguin. They should know better. This is Penguin. Sorry, I was like, who is the publisher? I was like, maybe it's a smaller, like,
no,
but it's G.P. Putnam's Sons. If I remember correctly, I want to say that would have been established in the 1800s. Mm-hmm. Like, they've been around. Maybe they've just been around too long and too stuck in their ways to have any idea. I don't know.
Now they're just making up stuff. I'm just like, we're just going to play with everybody else and change that. No, you can't.
Oh, Penguin, we love you.
It's all marketing and that, and what they're willing to do and what they can get away with because they are, a large publisher. And the fact that in the indie sphere right now, people don't understand that like tropes aren't a genre, like that they're tropes. They're not like these are the things that happen in your book, or like the themes of things that are happening in your book. This isn't a genre. Like one bed isn't a genre.
Yes. It's a trope. It's a trope.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
When did one bed? Like, everyone gets like snowed in and they're like, you've only got one bed. You get to the hotel and there's only one bed. And so you end up having to deal with whatever this person is, the person you hate, the person you love, the person that, you're traveling with, or
Well, because a lot of people, I mean, most readers don't deep dive the same way we do about it. And so for them, when it becomes so popular, then it's like, oh, like they think of it almost like a subgenre
Yes.
when really it's a trope. So like they just kind of start looking, which I mean, I get the confusion, but I'm with you where I'm like, that's not quite the same thing.
And let's hope it doesn't become the same thing.
Romance is a genre.
Urban fantasy, like contemporary with no magic. I think we need to be specific now. Like, this is contemporary with no magic. I find myself saying that a lot when I go to live events. People's like, what do you have? And I have to separate them by magic and no magic. I was like, what do you like to read? Because it's very specific, and like trying to find people, because I can write in anything, but I'm like, what do you like? Because I'm not your person for everything. So if you're not telling me where, I'm like, there's 10 of us. I can send you anywhere. I just need to know, what do you like? And they have to think about it. It's really
Can I just say that, like, that as a reader, if you're at an event and you give that answer, I like everything, that is not a valid answer, because you don't like everything. Like, well, I read everything. And it's like, oh, but you're writing romance? Then you don't read everything. Okay. And then that takes my brain a minute to snap around and say, don't be ugly. Like,
so
I can only think of one of my readers. I have one reader that I would say I have yet to find a genre she won't read and enjoy reading. But she also is someone that has a lot of time to read in a way that most people don't. And she is a very fast reader. But like, when this woman loves Bound by Honey, and she tells me from it that she just finished reading a biography and a sci-fi and splatterpunk. And if you don't know what splatterpunk is, just FYI, if you search it, your search history will go wild, because it is the darkest of the dark, I would say, honestly, of any genre, because anything goes in that genre, and some really twisted things that, like, the writers in some countries would be arrested for just for writing it happens in splatterpunk.
She does read everything. What I find out when people say they read everything in their genre. And I don't think it's in that genre. Like, I like this and this and this, but it's usually within the same confines.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of romance readers tend to read everything in romance, and they tend to be a little bit more open-minded about some things. It's not the same thing when people says, I like thrillers or like nonfiction. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you come to an author event and you're looking for nonfiction, that's a really hard place to find. So I'm like, I don't know anybody doing biographies. Like, I don't know.
Well, that means to me that the event has been marketed wrong. Like, if you're coming there and you're looking for something and it's not there, then that something has happened in the marketing where they did not communicate that these are the types of books you can find here. And that happens all the time. And romance writers you can absolutely, it's why there are so many events that are put on with that kind of theme or dedication of, like, here, this is it, or like, here, this is a romantasy event, this is a dark romance event, this is a whatever event, or this is a romance event. And because I know people used to get, when we did LLS, people would get really upset and be like, I want to be there. I want to come there. I want to sell my book there. And it's like, if you have nonfiction books and all you have are children's books, this is not the event for you. No. You can't come here, because you're going to be very upset by the end of this when nobody buys your book. Now, if you have, paranormal, you have horror, you have romance, you have all these things, then yes, these readers are within those parameters. And then if you additionally have other things, but you are going to need something to get them to your table to begin with, because they're not going to come over for your cookbook. Like I will,
I
but
think
no one
that's
else
the
is.
case for most things anyways. Like, for example, I just did an event last weekend, I want to say, at a mall that's dying in our area. And the table was dirt cheap. I knew as soon as I saw the mall, I was like, I grew up going to this mall. I know the condition it's in. I know my target audience is not going to be there. I knew I could not afford to bring my PA because there's no way I would have any chance of making a profit if I did. But I also knew I was going to have to bring my A game for trying to sell.
Mhm.
And ironically, I showed up to this event, and the event like coordinator was like, she was like, well, we're starting to move people's tables so that they're out. So anyone who's walking by will like see it. And I was like, you know what? I don't want that. Because when you're in a mall, what do you do when someone tries to talk to you as you walk past them?
You
You
shut
avoid
Walk
up.
them
past her.
immediately.
Mhm.
That is your immediate trained thing. I didn't want that. And I literally told her, I was like, give me your worst spot. I want your absolute worst spot for any booth. And I want the challenge of trying to outsell everyone else who's there. And I did outsell everyone else there by a lot, apparently. But that was partially because I like made sure to bring my A game to have a setup of things that would give me a way to like engage with people immediately, and had a way to actually like get people interested immediately. I mean, it's not that hard. Like when you have people who are kind of sort of walking by, again, not my demographic at all, but being able to go, you're welcome to take any free tiny books you want. Stickers are free. Like things that, especially when I knew I was in a very low income mall, I was not, most of the people walking by are not readers. Like it was, again, it was definitely not my demographic in any way, shape, or form, but I still sold 20 books. Like that was great for me. And it was honestly probably my first slow event I've ever had. And that was such a weird experience for me. It was great, but it was such a weird experience for me to do that. Like I'm used to doing, like, for example, Books on the House does Book Palooza, which I don't know if you guys have seen. I don't know if Tonya has seen the announcement that they just made. So they grew so fast that they've outgrown their last couple locations.
Mhm.
And this next one, I just found out I got into it. And about, I would say 6-ish months ago, there was an event in Charlotte. There was a book one that was sports romance only. And it was in one of the professional stadiums.
That's cool.
And yeah, it was a really cool ticketed event. And
Mhm.
Book Palooza is now going to be like, they needed a bigger space. So now it's going to be a ticketed event in that. Like in one of the big, I want to say it's the Knights Stadium, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
I gotta double check. But like it's gonna be interesting seeing a different venue and everything, and seeing how this event goes with it being ticketed. Because it's like,
Mhm.
it's only $5. It's still super
Okay,
cheap.
so it's
All right.
It's still super cheap. But at the same time, for spur of the moment kind of stuff, like it's gonna be interesting to see how that shift goes. But yeah, I totally agree. Like you need to have your pitch ready to go. Super short, super easy, super emotionally engaging, no matter what you're selling. I'm sorry, you're selling a cookbook. You can still emotionally sell to me and like, do you want to find out the best chocolate chip cookie recipe I have ever come across? Like, there's got to be something in it.
I'm going
It's
to
going to
have
be
to
easy.
say, for people who are very terrified of selling in person, because I think that's kind of the biggest things, especially for authors, and I've seen them for years, is that believe that you have to sell the book. And I think this is the part where people get very confused. I'm all about making, and I call it the Disney experience. Like once somebody explained to me, and I think it was like Nick Stevenson from the UK, who has the whole definition of author should create the Disney experience to make you feel like you're the most important person there. It's all about turning it about the readers. It has nothing to do with me. So when I was able to realize you don't care about me, it's not about me. It's let's connect about something we enjoy. I had an event and one of my friends came with me, and I think it's the first time somebody that is not used to seeing me as an author in an event showed up, and she's like, "You're really good at this." I'm like, "I'm a ham. Like I'm such a ham." I also don't take myself seriously. Like when I go to events, it's not the author that showed up. I'm not there to write. I'm there just to connect. I smile like a crackhead. If you see me, I'm always giggling. I think it's funny. Like somehow all the little kids want to chit chat with me. I was like, I don't know when we're going to hang out. But how do you connect with those readers is the reason they're going to come back. And they're going to come back because they're going to buy, they're going to recommend it. I have a lot of people that buy for other people. They're like, I don't read this, but I think you're adorable. I was like, I feel like people want to pet you. It's like, oh, okay. Like, but I'm going to send this to somebody. How do you create an experience that somebody that comes to your table feels comfortable enough to talk to you? If you can get them to talk, Tanya's giggling over there. Like, how do you get them to talk to you? And then you can sell. Like, don't make the selling the most important part because it doesn't work. It's never going to work. We know how it feels like to walk by and somebody's trying to push something at you. You were like, you're creepy. I'm just going to go
Again,
around.
the experience in the mall. I was like, I don't want to be that.
Every time.
And I am like the worst at all of these because I just have like resting face. Like it is, I like, you feel like if you're going to come over to my table, I'm probably going to give you homework. And that's, I really, and that might be true. Like, I'm not going to lie. So depending on what the conversation brings up, you may leave there with more tasks than you were prepared for. But like, I am.
You cannot be in a table by yourself. I'm just going to say that. You are not allowed to be in a table by yourself.
Like and I can't be with other people either, because when I'm with other people, I'm just going to shift them over to the other person. I'm okay.
I love doing tables with you because I'm like, I'll just sell your books, you sell mine, and we're great.
And yeah, but I am like the worst, because if you don't know what you want and you come up and you're still kind of like undecided, I am never going to push you for that sale. I am never, and I don't have, again, like I don't have the, I don't have spirit. You know, I don't. You know, in high school, I spent a semester as a cheerleader.
Really?
Yes, I did. And here's the reason why: because I was white and I could dance. And that's how my friend Kendra got me on the cheerleading squad, because they needed diversity on our cheerleading squad. It was Shawnee High School, Louisville, Kentucky. And I couldn't do all the flips, the jumps, like I couldn't do any of that stuff. Okay. But I could dance. So I was a base in the, in the things, like I could, I could toss someone, I could do those things, but like, yeah. And I can project my voice. That has probably been like the most energy in that type of department that I've ever had in my life. It was just football season. And then I was like, I can't do this. Like, this isn't,
I'm so in shock.
This isn't for me. Because yeah, like I love it. I think it's great. I look at people that have, that natural like up, and it's just like, wow. But if you ever see me like up like that, something is really like happening, or
you're medicated.
I'm medicated. Yeah. Like, because that does, this is as, like even here, even my husband, we've been married, a long time, like over 20 years. And he's still just like reboot the program. Where do I hit, where's the reboot? Like you have no energy, you have no excitement, no joy for anything. And it's like, I am happy. Like, this is joy. But for the outside person, like that does not translate to them as like joy. So if you are coming up to my table, you better be prepared for like the absolute like low key, no pressure. Like, yeah.
I will have to say, you're also the person that like watching you sell is very painful, because you just give half of your table away. It was like, stop. Like, who priced this stuff? Like,
I will do that too. Like, if somebody's like, oh, I really want this, but I don't have the money, I'm just like, just take it. Like, I don't have to take it home. I don't have to pack it up. It's not.
And then
not the way you should do those things. Don't use my examples for those. I know what I
Well,
should do and I know what other people should do, but like I
The sad thing is,
well, I
you're
think a
amazing.
lot of people also, like, for anyone who's listening and they're like, okay, like, how, like, I also want to say too that for, like, I know for myself, it literally is a switch that I have to turn on. And as soon as the event is over, I am drained. Like, I can barely function for a while after. Like, when I went to RomanticyCon in Orlando, it was amazing. But I was so glad that my PA that I brought, she was also like doing the same thing I was, where like our switches were on. We were really engaging. We were high energy. We were selling like crazy. Like, I almost completely sold out of books on day one. Like, it was awesome. And we chose to skip out on every single event that this thing had. Like, we didn't do the ball. We didn't do any of the after hours stuff. None of it, because we were so drained from having to be on and be engaging. And like, we just wanted to go back to our hotel rooms and not have to do anything. And I fully admit it's one of the few times I was a little jealous because I travel with my family. And so I needed to go and like give my husband a break because he had my high functioning autistic daughter all day, and I needed to give him a break, which meant I needed to be on in a different way before I could actually decompress and prepare for the next day. But if you are someone who struggles with it, definitely don't feel like you just have to always naturally be. You don't in any way. And I mean, Tonya still does sell books at in-person things. It's not that she doesn't ever. So please don't take that from this. Like, I've been with her at events. She does still actually sell books. She just sells in a very different way.
Very
And
low-key.
there are some people, though, who will be absolutely terrified. I can tell when they're uncomfortable because I'm like energetically talking to somebody near them. And while I do tone myself down when they come up to my table, if they approach someone like Tonya instead of me, they would probably have been more likely to buy more books because it felt less pressure and more within their comfort bubble. So don't feel like you have to be super engaging, super like, you don't have to do that, especially if you take the time to like put together really good blurbs. And honestly, I'm sorry, but if you have a blurb that doesn't have a good hook at the beginning of it, because most people don't read beyond the first 1 to 3 sentences in a blurb, like, make sure you have that. Make sure your covers are looking great. Like, if you make sure that like all of that stuff is going, it helps. And honestly, one of the big reasons that I make the tiny books of my books, like when I say I have tiny books at my table, it's not other people's tiny books, it's mine. Because I feel so awkward when someone comes up and I'm like, this book is about blah, blah, blah. Like DC was saying, you need a way to engage with them first. And my job is 10 times easier if I have a spin wheel. It's like Ryan's World. If I have the space, then I will have the spin wheel up on the table and I'm like, you want to come spin for a free tiny book? Or I'll have them laid out on the table if I don't have room for that. And whatever book they pick up first, that gives me somewhere to start. Like, it takes all that pressure off of me and it makes it so much easier for me to like just go with the flow with the things that I have practiced. And with that, practice your hooks. So much that you're dreaming of them and you are sick of them. Do it so that when you freeze, it doesn't matter. But like, test your hook before you get to that practicing point. Like, share that hook online. You could test it in ads. You could test it on social media. You can text it to your friends, text it to your mom and be like, what do you think of this? Even if they've never read your books, honestly, if people haven't read your books, they're more likely to be able to tell you if that hook actually intrigued them or not. Like, focus on that.
Print out, because depending on where you're at in your stage of life, like, and depending on your backlist, like my backlist, like you ask me, I'm like, I don't know.
You know what I've been doing my last 3 events, and I'm actually noticing I like to track my tail of like my online sales for 2 to 3 days after, because I usually see a tail, and I was seeing that really well with just the tiny books. I started taking my like character art, or some of them I don't have character art for. So I'll get like a stock photo and I've been making the trope images and then printing them off and letting people just take those And I've been noticing my tail, like of my sales, is increasing for online sales because I have that next to the book, and it's just a little stack of trope stuff with the hook and the book. And it's engaging, and people who don't buy my book, they're taking that with them and they're buying it online as an ebook, or if I have an audiobook, something like that. So that has been a big help as well, especially when I go totally blank and I can't remember what the book is about. It's right there.
One of the things I've done that happened by accident, I got stuck at an event and my table was huge. I'm like, who has 10-foot long tables? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, this table is massive. I ended up putting posters on the table, and like, I pick 2 books that I want to highlight just because it's easy for me. Like, find 2 books you want to highlight. I think the one that's been doing amazing of all the books is Cat Lady, because literally it's called the Cat Lady Special. All the women want to stop, and all the men who want to make fun of their wives want to stop. So we have a discussion of like, does that say from Cat Lady to Arms Dealer? It does. It does indeed. This is where we're at. So you can have something as a display to help you out and give you that starting conversation without feeling. Did we lose Jamie?
We lost Jamie. Jamie fell out.
Oh,
there she goes.
I was like, what just happened?
Sorry.
She's coming back.
Good.
She got too excited. That's what happens when you got all that energy.
The network's like, we can't handle that anymore. The good news is we're almost wrapping up, so that's perfectly okay. We're getting ready to wrap up. Tonya, do we want to announce our event that we talked about and then didn't mention a lot? When is it?
Oh, so we're gonna so our event is taking place. All the registration and stuff is already done for it. So if you did not get in this year, then sorry. But along with that, we will we'll figure it out next year. We're going to do it a little bit higher elevation here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. So if you are interested in attending or participating or sponsoring or any of those things, like, just reach out. We would love to talk to you about that. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's like, I don't know. It's going to be like school meets pajama party, I guess.
All day long. All day long.
So on that front, we can't forget the thing that they can be involved in, though, even though all those are sold out. Our marketing workbook is about to release.
See you.
There's a black square. Okay,
that would be my internet being a dork.
As long as you're still
definitely hit up, like, talk about our workbook, because that's a big.
When does that get released? Is it the 10th?
It's at the end of our event. So, like, the people who are coming to the event will get the book, and then everyone else will get it at the end of the event.
So,
there we go.
July 12th is the release of the book. So the book is super fun. It's a combination of lots of marketing. We added some, mindset kind of techniques. We talked a little bit about, some of the green, evergreen things that you can, obviously it's our brand, some of the evergreen marketing techniques that you have available, as well as some of the very dynamics going on. So you can pick it up. You can pre-order now. It is on pre-order, believe it or not. It is July 12th is release date, because that is the ending of the mastermind. And kind of give you, it is a very workbook focus. So this is not one of those things that is supposed to just be open up and pray. We give you lots of homework throughout the book, because, a professor is working on it. So she's going to give you homework. So you have tons of practicing. And Jamie has tons of exercises. So as I got to go through the book, I felt like a little kid. I was like, why don't I have this printed? And then Tanya's like, we get a copy. It was like, yes, I need a copy.
Also, like, we really tried to make it. So, I mean, when we say workbook, this is like a full-length novel length, okay? This is not like a little pamphlet. We literally try to cover from the core basics of, like, how to write a good blurb. And there's no just one way to write a good blurb. Like, how to write hooks, how to have a good cover, how to, like, to learn how to do all of that stuff for your intended audience, including how to find your audience. We break down from the base of, like, getting the right foundation through a lot of different ways to market your book. And then from that, if you have not checked out our website, I definitely suggest checking it out, evergreenauthorresources.org. And The book itself also has like a little survey that you can take to help you learn what types, and I do mean multiple types of author you are, because each of our sections does not just have homework. It also gives you like hints for if you are this type of author. For example, if you are a bard, you're probably someone who enjoys social media marketing or who's good at like talking in front of people, like that kind of thing. You're good at talking about your stuff. There are going to be some areas of publishing and marketing that are going to be easier for you and some that are going to be harder for you. So we do that for all of our types of being an author for every single section of this book to help it so that it's not just us giving you information and going, good luck, figure it out. Like, we really tried to do it so it's going to be more personalized for you to help you be able to overcome the struggles that you may be dealing with in publishing.
It'll help you to kind of look at yourself from a very much, I like these things and these things are not for me, and be okay with it. Because I think we all have those places. You have the things that you enjoy about this field, and then you have the things that are part of the business. We might not enjoy it, but it is things
Yes.
that we have to do to be in the
I
business.
think one of my favorite parts of like having gone through while like I was trying to figure stuff out for this book was really going through, okay, I know when I finally got to a point where I was like, oh, maybe I could hire a PA for like 5 hours a month. But what would I possibly have them do? That is actually some of the kinds of recommendations that we do have in some of the spots of like, if this is your author personality type, this would be a really good area to maybe hire a PA who's already there or train the PA. Like, honestly, we don't mind you showing them our stuff for the section that you need help and like training a PA. And like, we specifically go, this may be a section that when you have the money, it may be easier for you to hire out this element of it. Because all of us are at a point in our careers where we know we can't do it entirely alone. It just burns us out and runs us into the ground, which is really frustrating because we would rather save the money and do it all ourselves.
That's kind of the reality. Is sometimes you have to understand, do you have time or do you have money? And if you don't have either one of those, then you have to look at creative ways to get you to the next level. Also, the fact that this is not a race. I think we're now in this mindset that we need to have it now. And this is coming from the person who is literally wants everything now, because I have no patience. Having to learn that it's okay to take your time is kind of step one for healthy. And we're all about healthy and happy, as you can tell, because if not, you're going to definitely not survive this roller coaster we call the author world.
And that you don't have to do everything. Like, that's part of why we wanted to give so many options and when we wanted to break it down the way we did. You really do not have to do everything to make it as an author. I guarantee you, if you're looking at these 6-7-figure authors, a lot of them are not doing big chunks. I mean, there's some authors that are making 6 and 7 figures that are not on social media at all. There are some that are only making money from social media and have no ads running anywhere. There are some that do all of their own editing and or do their own covers, but then others that hire out for all of those parts. Like, you don't have to do everything to make it as an author at whatever level you want to make it as an author. Like, you don't have to choose to want to try and be a 6 or 7 figure author because sometimes that is just exhausting. So,
You need a lot of time. There is not a one size fits all. And I think that's, as you can tell from all three of us, there is not one size fits all. We're going to go back to remind you, do find a friend, find a community, find that person that you can celebrate, you can whine, you can bitch and complain, but also that can keep you humble and grounded to help you get you through the next stage. Because alone, this is a really horrible place to hang out if you're by yourself struggling. So before we go, by the way, our next podcast is July 26th. I'm reminding us because it's the last Sunday of the month at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Because I had to look at my clock.
9-ish.
Within the 9 time frame, we'll be here. Just bring something to drink. Come and hang out with us. All right, Tonya, you get to wrap us up.
All right. So this has been another episode of Coffee, Tea, and Novel Ideas from Evergreen Author Resources, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.